On air with Russell of Hotels. You know that live hospitality talk show everybody's talking about. I got a guest today, Mr. Tre Wilke the fourth. I didn't even know it was the fourth. Okay, so I've been leaving out that fourth for whatever reason, but he's Tre Wilke the fourth. He's with the Catamaran and Bahia Resort Hotels out there in San Diego. I'm in Los Angeles, which is not too far from San Diego. Please forgive me for the little delay, but Trey and I were working out some things, just trying to make sure the audio is right, the sound is right, and all that kind of stuff, and that he looked good. I mean, I said, dude, you ain't got to worry about looking good. He was like, doing his hair. I said, dude, don't even worry about that. You look good. You look fine. Okay, so don't even worry about that. But let me just make sure real quick that we are live on the platforms we're supposed to be live on. And feel free. I'm gonna put on the chat here as well that you guys can make comments. You guys can say, hey to Trey, because this is all about interactive. It's an interactive show. I welcome engagement, and you can, like I said, you can make your comments. Say, hey, what's going on, or what is this, and who are you, or whatever you want to say. Go ahead and say it, and I'll put those comments on the screen in real time. Let me just make sure once again that I think live. Let's see, we're going live on. Let's see. I just want to make sure. There we go. All right. So LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Those are the platforms that we are on today. So before I get started on the show with this conversation, and just remember, this is a conversation, not an interview. I got a job already, and Trey has a job. Okay, he ain't looking for a job, right? So I'm not interviewing him for anything. Okay, so this is a conversation. Two people that happened to meet at a function about a month ago, and actually here in Los Angeles at the Sofitel Hotel. It was a road show that San Diego Tourism Authority that gave. They do this annually. And Trey, this is the first time I actually met him, and I'm like, you know what? I need to have this guy on this show, right? So we had a brief conversation and everything, and told him, just the way he carried himself. I said, sometimes I wonder about this industry, and is it going to be in good hands when all the old heads are gone? And I said, you know what? Just based on how you present yourself, because he did a presentation for his hotels and all that stuff. I said, based on that, I said, you know what, we're gonna be in good hands. Okay, we're gonna be in good hands. But anyway, real quick, hold on, Trey. I'm gonna introduce you formally. I'm gonna do your bio and all that. But I'm gonna put you on hold for a second. I'm gonna do my intro, and then we're gonna come back and start this show. And we're gonna grill Trey on some questions here. No, I'm joking. But real quick, if you mute yourself, I'll mute myself, and then we're gonna start this. What am I saying? The intro, and then we're gonna start the show.
Welcome to On Air with Russell of Hotels, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations, before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship-building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes. Russell is always looking for good non-meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Hey, we're back. Hey, thank you again for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show. Thank you guys so much. It's show number 248. Today is Tuesday, April 9th, 2024, and we got a guest. we got a guest here, Mr. Tre Wilke the fourth. He's a sales manager or hospitality professional at the Catamaran and Bahia Resort. So once again, thank you so much, Trey, for coming on. You can unmute your mic and just say a couple of words before I do your intro.
Well, it's a pleasure to be on the show, Russell, and I'm really glad that we got to meet at the SDTA Roadshow. It was a great event, and it was really nice to meet you and shake your hand. And I'm glad that we get to be here today and talk hospitality. Something
Oh yeah.
I know we both love.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely gonna get into the love with this whole hospitality thing. And one thing I can say about Trey when I met him, and when I asked him, I told him, I said, I do this talk show, hospitality talk show, whatever, and he jumped at the opportunity to come on, and that's not common. Okay, I've been doing this 248 shows. I just mentioned that, right? And
Yeah.
probably half of those shows I've had a guest on. Okay. But some of these people, I got to beg and plead and prod and all this stuff. But Trey he said, oh, yeah, okay, that'll be great. Even just like that, just great. Let's do it. When can we do it? Kind of thing, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, calm down, brother. Okay, let's hold on a second. Let me get some dates together. But yeah, so we're gonna get it together. But yeah, so he was anxious to do it, and that's a good thing because as salespeople, and he may not know this, but people that listen or follow me or whatever, they know I started off. When I was in sales, I was one of those gung ho kind of people. Like, let's get this thing started. What do I need to do? Whatever. And if there's an opportunity for me to speak like this, I would have done it. We didn't have back when I started, Trey. We didn't have opportunities like podcasts and things like that to come on and talk about what you do and how you did it and how you got involved in the industry and things like that. So thank you so much. I do appreciate that, and it is not common that somebody would just jump at the opportunity and say, okay, let's do it. When can we do it, right? But all salespeople should. Okay, that's
Absolutely.
That's the point I'm trying to make. All salespeople should be anxious and eager to jump on and talk about themselves, talk about their brand, brag a little bit if you need to. You know what I mean? Pat yourself on the back. It's whatever. That's what this show is about, right? That's what it's. So thank you. So okay, real quick, let's go ahead and do this intro, and then we're gonna get in the show. Tre Wilke IV is a distinguished sales manager at Evans Hotel, located in sunny San Diego, California. Starting his journey in the hospitality industry began as a front desk agent at the Bahia Resort in 2021. Trey rapidly advanced his career, securing 5 promotions within 2.5 years. Damn. Okay. Can you say overachiever? Okay. His journey through various roles in operations and sales has not only showcased his versatility, but also his unwavering commitment to the hospitality sector. In addition to his role at Evans Hotel, Trey serves as Director of Student Relations for the HSMAI San Diego Chapter Board and is an active member of the HSMAI Rising Star Leader Council. Now, HSMAI stands for Hospitality Sales Marketing Association International, right?
Yeah.
Boom. Hey,
it's a mouthful.
Come on now. I know. I remember my acronyms. We're big on acronyms in this industry.
You got it. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. All the letters.
Yeah. Trey prides himself on leading by example and continuously seeks to learn and adapt in the ever evolving hospitality landscape. With long-term aspirations of launching an independent hotel company, Trey is driven by the desire to create unique havens worldwide where guests can forge unforgettable memories. Without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Tre Wilke IV.
I love that. I love it. Thank you so much for having me, Russell. It's a pleasure.
You are more than welcome, man. Thank you. I just need to move. I didn't realize this was something that was in your way here. Let me move these things out of the way. And I thought I had, okay, I need to, hold on one second. There's something that I have to put up here that is not there. And I apologize for that. I thought that screen was going to have that on there, but for some reason, I have to put your logos up.
Brand recognition.
You gotta have it. Gotta have it. Okay, so we got the Bahia right there. Then we're gonna do the catamaran too. See, that's one thing about this using this Ecamm Live. You can do things on the fly. So catamaran.
That is helpful.
Yes, and it's helpful that that I've kind of almost mastered this thing after like 3 years. Okay. So now, okay, so the two logos, you can't see it now, but you'll see it when you see the replay. The two logos are right between us. Okay, so they're right in the middle of us. Okay. So the Bahia's on top, and the catamaran is the second one. Okay, so there we go. All right.
If I go like this,
you can point.
Or is it the other way?
No, it's on the it's on the other side. No, other side. It's on, yeah, that's right there. But point up. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay. There we go.
Oh God, I can tell this is gonna be one of those shows. Okay, all right. So let's just start this off by saying this. I mean, everybody wants to know this, right? Everybody keep asking me. When you have guests, when you have this Tre on this show, I need you to ask this one question. I'm like, well, what's the question? Tre, did you choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you?
I've been waiting to answer this question. Man, I think it's a combination of both, but it certainly found me. Previously, prior to living in San Diego, I moved here in 2021. That's when I started at the Bahia Resort Hotel in Mission Beach. Previous to that, I'd lived my whole life in Illinois, and I'd never worked in a hotel. I'd never worked in a hospitality, hotel, resort, sales job, nothing of that sort. Primarily, I worked in warehousing, manufacturing, odd jobs here and there. I still had that hard work and strong work ethic, but there weren't beautiful resorts in my backyard where I lived in Illinois. So when I moved here, part of the reason I moved here was to start a new life. And after COVID, just like so many of us were undoubtedly experiencing a lot of anxiety, and stress about the state of the world, our families, everyone's safety. I said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And I decided to move to San Diego. And part of that was finding my career. And starting at the front desk, it was a great stepping stone and experience because it helped me realize a piece of my personality that I love and other people seem to love is I'm very outgoing and personable, and I love to connect with others and be able to talk and make people laugh and smile and be a part of those memories. And being at the front desk, that's literally what you're doing. Your entire shift is welcoming people to this property, to this city, and sharing with them what you love about the area. And I'm fortunate enough to live very close to both of the resorts, and thus I have pretty extensive knowledge of the areas and all of the fun things that you can do. So it chose me when I moved out here because I wanted to find a career that made sense and mixed with my personality and my aspirations and my goals in life. And yeah, it definitely chose me. And from starting at the front desk and just going forward, every opportunity to be a part of making positive memories for other humans it's just a fulfilling sensation for me every single time I get to be a part of that. So of course that translates well going into sales because now I'm doing it, but on a larger scale, um, and for companies and businesses and teams to bring them together. So it chose me. There's no doubt about that at all. I got bit with the bug pretty quick
That's
when I
cool.
started there. Yeah.
That's a cool story. That is a good story. I remember you telling me kind of that same story when I met you, where you kind of relocated from Illinois and you just chose San Diego, and I said, what a perfect place to choose because
Right.
everybody wants to come to San Diego. I mean, that's probably one of the what is the premier destination I think in the U.S. Right? And if you have not been to San Diego,
Absolutely.
you're missing out on a lot, right? So, but yeah, you could not have chose a better destination to go and get your start. And okay, so you started at the front desk, and when did you get that sales bug? I mean, was it you, or was it someone saying, "Hey, you know what, you'll be good in sales"? I mean, how did that come about?
A combination of both. Also, I just wanted to have a bigger impact for the hotel. I saw the impact I had on individual guests checking in and arriving to the hotel and what impact I was able to have on them, just whether it was calling for towels or, helping go and change the key battery or something like that, and it's a far building or this or that, whatever the situation was. I loved every opportunity and I wanted to have an even bigger impact on the hotel. And I really was interested in more of the business aspects. So I think early on, I already had kind of a sales push for myself that I hadn't realized, but it was more so because I just was passionate about the hotel and I really believed in our service and I really believe in what we provide. So I was just really excited and love to share that with other people. And I there were some people, some of the other sales managers definitely saw me and knew of me, and I created a positive reputation for myself on property. And so some of the sales managers said, "Oh, you should come over here. Oh, you got to be in sales, or have you thought about going in sales?" More and more people started to ask me that and kind of get me thinking about it. And of course, I hadn't really considered it, but of course, I knew it was a step forward and a step towards my end goal of being a business owner and having my own hotel company. And so I knew anything that was going to get me closer to that, and I knew I was going to need to understand the ins and the outs of the business if I wanted to be successful as an entrepreneur. So I said, you know what, let's go for it. That it seems like the universe is pushing me towards this way and guiding me this way. So I'm going to follow suit and just keep working hard, keep applying myself, keep trying to learn, keep developing. Um, and yeah, so when it ended up happening was I was a front desk agent for about 3 or 4 months starting in October 2021. 3, 4 months in, I get promoted to front desk supervisor. A few months into that is when a couple different sales managers had asked me if I had interest. I think at the time there may have been a coordinator position open. However, post COVID, we were still like many other hotels in the industry, and some still experiencing it now, going through staffing shortages, especially in bottom line entry level positions, front desk, housekeeping. The ones you need those people to run the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And so my front office manager at the time, like it was I still had more to learn and more to uh, experience, definitely. But essentially, I stayed at the front desk over the summer, and the goal was for me to go into the sales department in the fall um, of what would have been 2023. So then they didn't have a sales coordinator position open. So they actually did something really interesting, and they created a position for me that was called the meetings concierge, where I essentially acted as it's like a red coat or a blue coat.
Hmm.
I essentially acted as a liaison between department heads, directors, and in-house group clientele. So that was a really awesome experience and really interesting. And they gave me so much freedom to really polish the service on our in-house groups. And it gave me a really good behind the scenes look as well, which is translated into me being an even better sales manager and more successful because of it. So I did the meetings concierge for about 3, 4 months. They offered me another promotion into a sales coordinator spot that opened up. After doing that about 7, 8 months or so, they offered me additional responsibilities and a title addition. So I started doing business development, prospecting, reaching out to past clientele, doing cold calling, and I hadn't had any experience in any of this, mind you. I pretty much completely taught myself this and get a considerable amount of revenue just out of new business for the year and the time that I was doing it, which I was very grateful for, and it was definitely a successful effort. But I had the itch for being my own sales manager and being my own boss of my leads and my clients and having that freedom. And so I was promoted to that at the end of last year and started in January. So I just completed my first quarter as a sales manager for both the Catamaran and the Bahia, and had a very successful quarter. And yeah, it's been incredible. And so yeah, I'm just looking forward to every other step that's coming in the future.
Wow. Now that's great. That's great. Talk about ambitious. I mean, and just things happening for you. I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, when you put yourself in a position to receive all these other things, right? Other opportunities or whatever. I mean, that's great. I mean, I love hearing that. I love hearing those stories. That's one thing I always say, that no two people got in this industry alike. Everybody has their own unique
Right.
story, right? And you telling that story is a good thing, because a lot of people just think, oh, people skated through things. You know what I mean? They got they got it
Right.
because they asked for it. Well, no. Other people bought off on you, because we always need advocates to push us, to get us in those doors, so to speak, right? So I mean, it was no
Absolutely.
different for me when I came in. I had to have some advocates. I probably had to have more, because I came from a strong operations background, and for whatever reason, they try to pigeonhole you to say, oh no, you're always going to be in operations. That this we need you there. Well, it's not what you need; it's what I want to do. You know what I mean? So
Right.
sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta you gotta go against the grain and say, you know what? No, this is what I want to do for my career. I spend half the time to date in operations. I said, well, now I want to apply it to sales. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but eventually I did get there.
Yeah.
And you seem like you got there as well, and this is good. I love this. I love this. So okay, so what is okay now that you're in sales? Okay, you're not in operation anymore. I'm sure you communicate with Well, we all need operations to get our
We all
jobs
need
done, right?
operations.
Right. So
Absolutely.
communication between sales and operations is very important. A lot of people don't even realize that there could be issues, if you will. But
Can
but let me
be.
just ask this. Let me ask this. Did you know when you before you went into sales, did you know exactly what that entailed?
That's a great question. I really did not. I really did not. I really had no idea what it looked like. I had no idea what a CRM was. I had no idea what a prospect was. I didn't know what a lead was. I didn't, all of these acronyms and all these, words for terminology in the sales world, like ROI or, my pipeline, like all of these things. I had no idea what any of it meant. So when people would have conversations with me early on, I'd be like, yeah, yeah. And then I would just remember what they said. And obviously later I'd go and look it up, and I started watching videos, and I was like, man, I dove into it head first. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't fearful or like, oh, am I going to be able to figure it out? Because I knew everybody had told me I had the thing you can't teach anyone. And that is the work ethic, the desire and passion to fulfill your client and your guest needs and make sure they have a great experience. And I'm pretty funny. So, you add those three things together and something good comes out of it. So
No, that's good. I like that. Yeah, you definitely. I mean, you said that, and I laughed, but you definitely need you definitely need a sense of humor. You definitely need a sense of humor because there's stuff that goes on that people just don't know, and sometimes you just got to. If you don't laugh, you're gonna be in there crying. For the most part. But yeah, so I mean, you get frustrated. There's certain things that happen that you get frustrated with, and things maybe not happen as fast as you want, or you're not closing deals like you think you should be. There's a lot of things that come into play there. So no, I definitely can resonate with all that. But yeah, when I asked you that question about sales, because when I was first, like I said, my path was different, and just like everyone else's. But when I first started working in hotels, or when I first offered a job, my first job offer was in sales, and I didn't know what the heck they would be selling. That's why I asked that question, right? Because I'm like, well, what the hell am I selling? You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, I don't. I never even worked in a hotel before, and you're asking me to go off to New Orleans at the Sheraton in New Orleans and sell it. I never been outside of California before at that point, and I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna take this job with Marriott and start at the, bottom and kind of work my way up. I started off as a manager, but I started off in housekeeping, right? So I kind of knew you had to figure out, housekeeping and then how that related to front office and, what does engineering have to do with all this stuff and maintenance and what is this food and beverage? What is that? And all that stuff, you mix it all together and then, okay, now I understand what the heck I'm going to be selling, right? Now I know the product and all that stuff. So that's why I asked that question because I, just going off my own experience, like, how did you know what you were selling, or if you even knew that? And you didn't. So, and that's good because. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It seems like the sales department. It's like the elusive, like the sales department. Like they're over there. Like we see them around property, and they're with clients, and then they disappear, and you don't see them for a month because they're stuck behind their desk because people aren't answering their emails, or vice versa, whatever's happening in their day.
That is so funny. That is the proper way to describe that, because people would always say, "What do you guys do? You're here. You're always entertaining people. You're eating for free in the restaurant where we can't even go to." You're taking people out, where were you? Were you out of town? Yeah, I traveled. You travel and this and that. I mean, people will come up with some stuff, boy. I mean, yeah, so.
Right. Yeah.
So how do you? Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. So how do you rise above that noise? Let me just ask that. How do you rise above that noise that you get as a new sales manager? You were one of us before. Now all of a sudden you're over there, and we don't see you anymore.
Yeah. No, that's a really great question, and that's actually something that was really important to me as I saw myself growing in my career and getting more and more opportunities. And people would say it to me kindly, and they still do, but in like a joking way, but be like, don't forget about us, like, oh, you're going to be Mr. Suit and Tie soon. Like, don't forget about us. And I really hold that near and dear to me because I understand that being a strong leader requires you to be humble. It requires you to have humility. It requires you to understand that, listen, my job doesn't exist if we don't have housekeeping or we don't have banquets, or I'm just a part of an ecosystem. I look like this, I wear the suit, I greet the client, I do that role. But we're all a part of this ecosystem that's main goal is to provide these memorable experiences and a period of relaxation or productivity for meetings and group clients at the hotel. So the way I stay above that noise is just continuing to be authentic and be myself and genuine and not forget about those people who helped get me there and everything that other people have done for me. And I always try to pay that back and pay it forward and be there and help whoever I possibly can in whatever situation it is, especially if they were a part of my journey and saw me on that rise up. It's really important to me.
Oh yeah, I love that. I
You
love
know,
that because
it's
yeah,
life. You have to
yeah.
be something I learned and that my grandfather told me. He told me that I had a very special light, and like most grandparents will tell their grandchildren, right? So he told me that, but I really felt it when he told me. But he told me something even more important, and that was that as that light continues to grow, the only way you can grow your light is by sharing it with others.
Mm,
Because a light that's closed off can't shine bright. It's only going to
hmm.
shine as bright as it can within those four walls. And when you start to shut those walls off, like, it doesn't feel as bright anymore. So the meaning of that is to just pour out that love and that kindness into everybody that you touch and everybody that you meet. And that's just in life in general. And I apply that same philosophy to my career and in my job because at the end of the day, we're in hospitality. It's about being a person that likes people and wanting to put on those events and create those memorable experiences. So I just hold myself to that philosophy and that's how I try to stay above it, you know. And again,
Love it.
making jokes and just being humorous and real with people will go a very long way.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Very good, very good. I see a comment here, Mr. Is that Kelly Griffin? The hardest job in any business is driving revenue. It's important to service business with efficient systems, but building business with sales is more difficult. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. More difficult with sales, more difficult in operations. Will never understand it. Okay, let me read that again. Let me read that again. Good point, Kelly. Hold on one second. It's because it's gonna disappear. Hold on one second. Okay. The hardest job in any business is driving revenue. It's important to service business with efficient systems, but building business with sales is far more difficult, and operations will never understand it. There's always going to be, that things that you do that operations doesn't understand. But the thing of it is, like you said, I mean, you have to let people know. And one thing that I learned is educating people because they don't know the big picture. Because, like I said, they see it as, okay, you're this elusive, salesperson or this elusive department that kind of comes and goes as you please, whatever. But they don't understand how the pieces work together. I'm out
Exactly.
here hustling for this because I want everybody to eat. I mean, let's just put it like that. I want
Yes.
people to be employed, and I want people to get their hours. I want banquets to do what they do. I want housekeepers to have their hours as well. People at the front desk. Everybody can eat, right? But you have to explain that to them because they don't understand that. And that's one thing that as a sales manager I didn't understand. But when I became a director, then I started taking a lot of stuff personal, right? Like meaning if my sales people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, then that's a problem because if we gotta, people have to cut hours and things like that, and it's because we're not hustling enough or we're not getting from the client enough, we're not closing enough business. I started taking that stuff personal. I told my sales manager, I said, hey, people are losing their jobs or they're getting their hours cut, all this kind of stuff because we're not pulling our weight. I said, so think about it like that. Think about if we don't do what we're supposed to do, there's people don't get their hours. I mean, I
Yeah,
took it like that, and then people really started understanding. And then I would take it a step further and, talk to the housekeeping department, talk to the front office, because everybody's job is important. Everybody's job, like you said, we're just part of the ecosystem, right?
exactly.
We're responsible for top line revenue, right? The business that comes in, we're responsible for that, and we affect that, right? But we need them to take care of the business that we bring in. So it's everyone has a part in this, and everybody has to buy off on what we're doing. And then after I kind of started doing that kind of dog and pony show within, because there are clients too, right? There are internal clients, right? Right. So we got to get the buy off on them as well. We want them to support us
Mhm.
as well, right? But they need to know exactly what we're doing. And but yeah, so
Exactly.
I don't know why I had to stand up and say that, but I just had to. But no, thank you so much, Kelly. That's a great comment. I do appreciate that. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, let's ask a couple of questions here. Let's talk about the Bahia and the catamaran. Um,
Mm.
are they next to each other? Are they down the street, across the street? What?
Yes. So the Bahia Resort Hotel is located in Mission Beach. So it is about a mile and a half south of the catamaran. So on the green screen that's behind you, or on the picture that's behind you of Mission Bay, the Bahia is on the southern portion, and then the catamaran is on the northern portion, closer to the boardwalk. So they're very close to each other. Now, the difference you're going to see in Mission Beach versus Pacific Beach, both have a plethora of restaurants and a lot of fun activities, shops, things to do, all within walking distance. Biggest difference is Pacific Beach is going to be have a little bit more nightlife, if that is something that would be preferable. They have a lot more bar options there and a few more restaurants. But Mission Beach is going to be more of the leisure, more of the family friendly area because it's located right next to Belmont Park, which is my favorite amusement park in San Diego. Probably my favorite amusement park ever. Sorry, Navy. Um, but yeah, it's they're both very close to each other, have the same excellent service, but have a little bit different of a vibe to them. So the Bahia is gonna feel more like you're at home. It's like family, like kind of a Moroccan SoCal beach style.
Mm,
And then Catamaran's more of like a Hawaiian paradise just in San Diego. It's very Polynesian themed. In fact, the waterfall that's in the main lobby is modeled after a real waterfall that the owners had seen in Hawaii, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's very much like a tropical garden there, but in terms of proximity, only about a mile and a half apart.
okay, okay, very good, very good. Now, which markets do you handle as a sales manager? What markets do you handle?
So I handle the small market groups. So that's going to primarily be anybody that has 10 to 25 room nights on peak each night.
Mm,
So mainly my mix is going to be team offsites, executive board meetings, um, incentive trips, education, small education seminars. We get a lot of clientele from Arizonians, or Zonies, I think that's what they call it, Zonies.
sounds
They
right.
love to come to San Diego. They love to come
Okay.
to San Diego. It's not too far of a drive, and the coastal air here is just such a relief for them, getting away from that desert heat. So we have
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of people that love to come over here. So I work with a lot of clientele from, Chandler or Phoenix, and yeah. So yeah, I would say that's mainly my mix, and then we have a lot of local companies as well, a lot of technology companies, remote companies that like to come and have their offsite here in San Diego and bring everyone together in a beautiful city. That's mainly my market and the customer mix that I'll see.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Has the in either one of the hotels recently undergone a renovation, anything like that?
Yeah, so the Bahia just underwent renovations quite extensively over the last few years, at least like since COVID.
Hmm.
Our most recent renovation, we opened our restaurant Dockside 1953. Absolutely beautiful restaurant. It has beautiful patio area that overlooks Mission Bay and has a really cool dockside boat in the sand in front of it. So it makes for a really good photo op as well. So we just put that restaurant in April. About 2 years ago, it opened in April 2022. And then we also did a full renovation of our marina building, which includes a few studio rooms and suites. It's completely been renovated, and they're probably my favorite rooms on property. That's everything recently we've done at the Bahia. Um, and then for the Catamaran, we actually just did all of our guest rooms have been will have been touched, I believe, by the end of May or June. All of our 1 and 2 story buildings and rooms had a full scale renovation last summer. So we had a bunch of those rooms out of inventory, and we're just methodically going through and updating them. So that's brand new at the Catamaran. We've also done a refresh of our rooms in our tower. And then we're actually undergoing an exciting meeting space renovation this summer. So I'm excited
Okay.
to see what it's going to look like as well in the coming year.
What? Give me the breakdown of like how many guest rooms, how much meeting space at both properties.
Sure. So both spaces or both properties are a little bit over 20,000 square feet of indoor and outdoor combined meeting space. The Bahia Resort Hotel has 313 rooms, and then the Catamaran has 311. So both very similar in size. Uh, Best group size is going to be around, anything like 150, 200 on peak, 250 on peak, somewhere around there is ideal. But again, we have spaces for that are perfect for smaller groups that I work with, more executive groups like 10 to 25 people. We also have spaces that are more conducive for 50 to 100, and then we have our beautiful ballroom at the Bahia. That's going to be our largest space, and then we have the Kontiki ballroom at the Catamaran and the Aviary ballroom, and both of those are about 4,000 square feet, in between 3 and 4,000 square feet each.
Very
So yeah,
good. Very good.
great
That was just a
flow,
quiz.
great flow of space at the Catamaran as well.
Okay. Very good. That
Yeah,
was just a quiz to make sure you knew. I'm checking. I was
yeah,
checking off
I
everything that
know.
I asked you. I had my notes and said make sure that we check that stuff. No,
Right, I
I'm
know I'm
joking.
being recorded. Gotta make
Very good.
sure
Very good.
they're always watching.
What? You know what? Okay. You're. I'm just gonna throw this out here. Okay.
Okay.
You're a lot younger than I am. Okay. All right. So we came up in different times. Although I'm still, I still consider myself relevant in the hospitality space. Right. But
Absolute, of course. Yeah, of
good answer.
course.
Good reaction to that. But what I want to ask you is because with social media and everything, right? We didn't have social media. Okay, I didn't have social media when I came up. Now I wish I did. Maybe I'm thinking about going back on property just so I can start using some of the things, some of the tools, social media tools that I've grown accustomed to using with doing this show and do some other things. But how do you stay? What tools do you use to stay relevant and to stay noticed?
It's a good question. Primarily LinkedIn. That's that's probably my number one social media I even use. Period. Um, I'm always checking LinkedIn because I love this industry and I just love to learn something from everything. And I realize how incredible of an opportunity it is for somebody my age and this early in my career to have the ability to connect with professionals like yourself or just people who know the business and have been a part of this for 10, 20, 30 plus years, and they know hospitality, to be able to, at the tap of a button, connect with somebody that has that experience and ask them a question and say, hey, I'm looking for advice on this, or how do you deal with difficult client negotiations, and get an answer. That is absolute revolution, and I don't take that for granted. So for me, my struggle right now has just been trying to overcome like the imposter syndrome that I'm sure many people face, and that's like, is anything I have to say valuable, or is anyone, care to listen? And I guess that's my own issue with myself, being younger and part of the new generation of hoteliers, is just, validating myself and knowing that I have something important to say, and that it actually hits something. Um, yeah, I leverage my LinkedIn more than anything to connect and learn from other professionals, and just be a better. Always try to be a student and I'm always trying to learn as much as I can from those who have done it and put the time in. I feel like right now is that period for me. As I accumulate all this information, all this knowledge, and I still post and I'm still active and contribute, but I don't want to oversaturate myself yet if I haven't gained enough experience and enough knowledge to be able to put out consistent value to everybody. So that's how I'm using it right now and how I'm looking at it. And yeah, but LinkedIn has been a game changer for me. And I've met a lot of great friends, and I get to see, people's content and see what they're putting out there and see what they're doing. And I just love being a part of that and being a part of the community. So LinkedIn is awesome for that, especially in our industry. And I got one of those little lapel microphones, and I've got a little challenge for myself. I'm going to start doing like short form video on LinkedIn and putting together like a content calendar and really trying to stay consistent with it. And yeah, it's just getting over that critic. I think that's the most challenging part, is the inner critic.
Yeah. Yeah, the inner critic is something else. Definitely something else. But
That guy,
yeah.
always
Yeah.
trying to get after.
Yeah. But once you get over that, man, just the sky's the limit once you get past that. But it does take a minute to get past that though. But yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Let me see. Building relationship with your clients. How do you build and maintain that relationship? How do you stay on their radar when they need, because everything's timing. In sales, everything is timing, right? We all would like to think that we close on every piece of business that we get, right? Everything comes across my desk, I'm going to close on it. But is that it?
Right.
I'm sure you close on everything, right? I'm sure you do close on everything.
Right. But, I convert 100%.
But just in case you don't, how do you maintain that, the relationship with your clients and meeting planners and all that kind of stuff?
Sure. Piggybacking off of how I just spoke on LinkedIn, that's huge. So I make it a point to connect with my clients, especially if they have genuine interest and we're moving forward. And I always try to make a connection with them on LinkedIn, should it be appropriate and warranted, and they have a profile. Not everybody uses it. Otherwise, it's just, making sure I'm following up, or I think it's really important to get on the phone even though I know people don't like to get on the phone
Wait.
anymore.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. What did you just say?
I think it's important to get on the phone so we can hear each other's voices and the inflection and the tonality and you know thoughts and those little things that you hear in the conversation that are actually really important hot buttons.
Oh
Like
my goodness.
they want to eat inside of the meeting space, they want to eat outside. So you actually put a proposal together that offers outdoor space because you
Hmm.
listen and had a real conversation with them. I like to do that. Yeah.
Wow. You know what, I'm being funny, I'm being facetious, but that's a lost art. I'm gonna tell you something. As a meeting planner or a hotel site selection person, that's a lost art. I mean, people don't want to get on the phone. They want to email you every single thing, and they don't want to have a conversation. I'm like, no. I need you to call me because I need you to
Yeah.
explain some things, right? Things that don't, because
Right.
email stuff you can take it different ways, right? I mean, and I'd rather
Absolutely.
have a conversation. Now, you can follow it up with an email based on our conversation. This is what I'm sending you, right? This is what we talked about. But I need someone in their own voice to tell me what the heck this is. What am I getting? What is my client going to get? And all that stuff. So thank you so much for
Exactly.
saying that. I appreciate that.
Of
And I see
course.
hold on 1 second. I see Miss Veronica Rivera. That's my girl, right? I don't, that's everybody's girl standing here. But anyway, that's my girl. Thank you so much for being in the house, Veronica. She's with San Diego Tourism Authority, and she's the reason why I met you because she had the road
Yeah.
show, and you
She's the
guys
glue.
came along, and there you go. So there you go.
She's the
Thank you,
glue.
Veronica. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
So.
Veronica. Love her.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue that as far as maintaining relationships and
Yeah.
with your clients.
Yeah. I was just saying, like, communication. And the biggest thing for me is I try to position myself as an advisor and like I'm counsel or like I'm helping versus I'm trying to close this piece of business because I want a commission check.
Mm,
Because is my philosophy in life is that if I approach things with a desire out of selfish intent, then I'm going to get selfish results. And those aren't fun.
hmm.
And we've all done that. We've all learned from that. I'm fortunate enough to have learned that maybe earlier or really got it down than some. And I just understand how important it is to be genuine and and apply that to your relationships with your clients. And that's I just try to model that behavior and stick to that philosophy and go out of selflessness,
Hmm.
and that's to do well for me and just know, okay, how can I help them? How can I make their event a success? How can I make
Exactly.
them look good for their CEO? How can I make sure that this goes off without a hitch? How can
Hmm.
I unearth those details that we always have them? There's always something, right? A
Hmm.
microphone. There's always something. Nothing is perfect, and that's understandable. But how can I alleviate or see those pitfalls before we come up to them and make sure that the path to a successful event is seamless and they feel guided in a genuine and authentic and service based manner? Um, I just lead with that with everything I can and
Love it.
keep that front desk.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Very good. Very good. Yeah, clients could be something else, and we have to make sure we are transparent with our clients. You know what I mean? Even on my end as a hotel site selection or meeting planner or whatever you want to call it. It's important that when I communicate with my clients, I communicate everything that the hotel has told me, right? Because just assume something happened to me and I'm out of the picture, right? And if they didn't know, if I wasn't sharing the correspondence with them or copying them on, they would be lost. They would be like, well, I don't know what the heck he said, right? So I always make sure when we get to a certain point that they are on every communication, they're copied on everything, just in case something happens, or just in case maybe there was something lost in interpretation. Like, well, wait a minute, that's not what I needed. That's not what I wanted. Maybe, something I made a mistake on. And, sometimes my client will call me on that and say, hey, wait a minute, that's not what you told the hotel this, and this is what I really wanted. Like, oh, okay, my bad. Okay, whatever. But yeah, it's important that we maintain that communication with the client, because that builds the strong relationships, right? They know they can trust you, right? So all those kind of things, it's all about building trust. It's all about building that relationship and maintain that relationship, because what you don't want to do is continuously try to find new clients. You want that business to be repeat business, right? Because once you lose it, it's harder to get it back. So why not take care of it the first time? You know what I mean? So, but
Exactly.
yeah, but I appreciate what you said about, picking up the phone and calling, because I think that could be a lost art. And I appreciate you saying that. So thank you very much.
Oh,
Let's
of
see.
course.
Let me see. What other? I think we're almost out of. You know what? Dang, this been a good conversation here.
Time flies
Um,
when you're having fun, Russell.
Man, it does. It does. Okay, I got. I think I got time for one more question. No, I got two more questions. Okay,
Okay.
real quick. What's a day in the life of Trey, being the sales manager? What's a day in the life? What do you do?
Oh gosh, day in the life. So a general day in the life, get into the office in the morning. Um, I'm somebody who likes to I get right into my work. I sit down, I go through my email. I likely have already checked it before I came into the office, and label it. So I come in, I check that and go down my priority list and make sure I get back to the people that I need to first and take care of that business. I like to do my calls usually in the morning, anywhere from like 10 to noon, around there, 10 to 1 is when I like to do my calls with clients. And then everybody's favorite part of the day is eating lunch. So I actually eat first lunch and second lunch, because outside of being an awesome sales manager, I also do like bodybuilding, and I go to the gym, and I'm very much into fitness, and I play basketball every week. So I eat a lot of protein, and I have to eat a lot of food to, build my strength and
Mm-hmm.
my muscles.
Oh yeah.
So I like to eat a first lunch at like 10:30 a.m. and I go back go back in there around 1 or 2 after my calls. See what's left.
Oh my
And
God,
then
that's a good
and then
one.
just finish strong the rest of the day. And um, because my market is so hot right now, and small markets always boom, 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 and
Oh yeah. Mhm.
very much turn and burn. I'm always
Mhm.
busy. So I'm actually a person that I really love working at night. Maybe that's because I actually worked third shift for like almost 2 years at a
Mhm.
manufacturing plant, and maybe it did something to me, and I have PTSD forever now, and I just don't know it. Probably. Yeah, I like to work at night too, and take care of some stuff or have some emails scheduled to send out in the morning that I think will either help me advance any of the processes that I'm in with my clients, or if it's just helping the rest of my team, or manager stuff, as I like to call it, that we always have to reply to, or make sure that we know what's going on. Um, yeah, and then after I finish up, usually at the office around 5, I come home, go to the gym or play basketball on Wednesdays. I am in a recreational league, so I play in a basketball league every Wednesday night, which is really fun with my roommate. We've been doing that for almost a year now, so always look forward to those days. And then, yeah, on any other non-typical day, I'll have a site tour and be able to show a client the space or have lunch or breakfast. Yeah, but pretty typical for for me. It's very much a lot of time on the computer answering emails is the primary function, that you're doing as a sales manager. So a lot of screen time, but I make it a point to engage with my colleagues and crack jokes and take those little breaks throughout the day, um, to still feel like a human and
Oh
like
yeah.
I'm not just at a screen.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, but it's a day in the life for me.
That's cool. That's cool. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Last question, Trey. Last question. Okay, I got like a series of questions, but I got to end it here, right? So, last question.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone who's entering the industry for the first time?
Hmm. Find the thing you're most passionate about and just chase it.
I
In
like it.
hospitality, find the thing you're most passionate about and chase it. Go after it. Don't pass up opportunities to network with your colleagues or industry peers. Um, don't ever stop training yourself. Don't ever stop seeking out like certifications or new knowledge on your market, the industry, whatever area of hotel you're working in, because this is the most versatile industry in the fact that you can start in housekeeping and you can end as a general manager because it's been done before. It'll continue to happen. That's just how this industry is. And that's one of the infinite reasons I love it, is because hard work does pay off. And that's such a American dream notion. And I think a lot of people, especially in my generation, have that grim feeling or maybe that fatalist mentality that, oh man, we're all going to be in debt forever. Oh, what's the point? Like why bother? Oh, I can't work my way from the bottom up or this or that. Hospitality is an anomaly in that you can start at the bottom and you can get to the top, and you can do it by being a good person and working hard and being kind and not undercutting others or putting other people below you to get to, because you won't make it if you do that in this industry. Thank God. So find the thing you're passionate about, chase it, get involved in HSMEI, get involved in associations, and keep asking questions. Don't ever stop being a student. The greatest teachers never stop being students.
Wow. Love it. That's it, man. That's all I needed to hear, right? So no, man, this has been great. I wish I had more time. You got to come back on here, and we need to
Absolutely.
finish up because there's some stuff. There's some other questions I had to ask, but you did
Yeah,
a great job. Thank you so much. I appreciate the passion. I appreciate the hard work that you put in. And I like I said, I saw that the first day that I met you, just by how you carried yourself, just by how you presented your two properties, and being as what am I trying to say new at the game, you know what I mean? New in
I'll take
sales.
it.
Okay, let's just say that
Yeah,
within 12 months of being in sales and things like that. So, and like I said, I was in sales for years, and I can pick them. I can pick them, right? I can see the ones that know
right.
what they're doing, know what they're doing, and know that it's real, right? That there's some substance behind it, and not just some fluff, just kind of pass. I'm just trying to pass through here. So I'm just trying to,
Right, right.
no, 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 no. You're the real deal, man. And I
Uh,
appreciate what you do. I appreciate the passion. And I appreciate you coming on here, man, and giving me an hour of your time, or giving us an hour of your time.
of
So
course.
appreciate you. All
Yeah,
right.
no, it's an honor, and again, thank you so much. And absolutely, I would love to come back on and continue our conversation. And I really appreciate the opportunity and having me and getting to connect more. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. This was a great show, and I knew it was going to be good. I mean, when I speak with people, have conversations, I have a feeling how it's going to go. But this one went exceptionally well. So thank you so much, Tre Wilke the Fourth.
Love it.
All right. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you guys so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show. Thank you again for Tre for coming on, and I thank the Catamaran and Bahia Resort as well for allowing him to do that, to come on and talk, because I know this is prime selling time right now, and he probably should be on the phone with the client or emailing somebody. We have prime selling time. I don't know. Do you know about prime selling time? Okay.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, all right. I don't know if that was an old school term or if you guys have adopted that as well. I'm not sure, so I'm just making sure. Yeah. But this is definitely during prime selling time, so I do appreciate you taking the time out to do this. But yeah, so let's stay in touch, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Until next time, awesome. You guys have a great day. Thanks again. On Air with Russell of Hotels, and thanks again, Tre, for coming on. And that's it. We're out.
Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. Please tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success. Rather, become a person of great value.